Hello folks, hope you're feeling right as rain. Today's episode is actually a true story. It's about someone I know who's somewhat of a distant relative. So about 2 weeks ago, my family bumped into this bloke at a family event. You know, one of those rare gatherings where there's all these kids running around and lots of free food.
Oh, hell yeah, gotta love me some free food.
So a bit of backstory. This fella, he was a prison warden for all of his life. He was about 5'10", pretty well built, and he generally lived quite a humble life, I would say.
Now that sounds like Cousin Eddie. Gotta love them shotguns and pickup trucks. Yeah.
Anyway, as far as we knew, he lived a pretty normal life. He had a couple of kids and had enough money to send one of them overseas. Got divorced and remarried, retired. You know, nothing really out there.
So what happened then?
So this bloke, he shows up at the event, sporting a full-on Mel Gibson beard, and he's suddenly all decked out, blinged up with a bunch of rings and a Louis Vuitton belt that's screaming, "Attention, please." A prison warden with an LV belt? That sounds so weird.
Now that don't sound like Cousin Ed. He don't give a shit about branded stuff. He just loves them flamethrowers.
Right, so anyway, this fella, he comes over to my family and starts talking, yeah? And so there's an exchange of pleasantries, of course, like how you doing and all that. And then he goes off and starts telling us about his new life. We didn't even ask, and he starts telling us that he's raking in $200,000 a month, says it's quote-unquote doing all right, and he's got a bit to save for retirement.
That just sounds like humble bragging. Just not very humble.
Yeah, mate, for sure. So apparently this fella, he just got into the real estate game and he became a property agent not too long ago.
So he started selling Sunset at 60.
Exactly. We just found it rather odd and off-putting that he went around openly telling people about his earnings, while most people around him were blue-collar workers and lived relatively unprivileged lives.
And did he say anything else?
Oh, yes, he did, and this might sound a little wrong. He said he was going for some pilgrimage. Then he said, the queue was too long, and he bragged about how he paid for the $100,000 per person package.
What kind of pilgrimage is that? It doesn't sound very humbling at all.
Oh, for God's sake.
Pun intended.
And last but not least, as we were leaving, he took his brand new Mercedes-Benz and intentionally just stops the car at the pickup point for everyone to see, and then he lowered his windows while saying goodbye.
I am at a loss for words.
To be honest, we didn't feel threatened or anything really, and he wasn't even condescending. It was just interesting to observe that someone who lived a humble life could become an absolute dick at the age of 60.
Well, money changes people, I suppose. And so the moral of the story is, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.